it is amazing to finally get a chance to meet you. Where are you speaking to me right now? What part of the world are you in right now?
It's so great to meet you too, Rudy. I am in Southern California, my
What's
home.
the what's the weather like?
It is so hot. As of these last 2 days, it is like boom, summertime.
Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully me here in Toronto, it's a little cloudy. I mean, we actually had hail a little while ago, but hopefully the California warm weather will glide up here and we'll get some of that. But what's gliding up here though is your great music. Congratulations on this new single that we're going to get a chance to talk about. But before we do that, I want to talk about your career, talk about so many great things. But I have to ask, how have you been holding up for the last 2.5 years as the world has changed with COVID?
I know that these last 2 years, it's been a really weird, hard, scary, and lonely time for so many people. I'm so thankful to have had my family throughout this. I was in Nashville just before everything shut down. I was meant to stay a little bit longer for that trip until like April, but it was like March 15th, I think. I was like, no, I have to go home because that's when the news and everything was starting. And there was a tornado that had just happened, so it was already
Yes.
really, really scary and like kind of didn't know what was happening. And so I just knew I had to get home, in case travel was shut down and then sure enough, maybe a few days after I got home, everything shut down. And, I was home with, my family, and I'm just so thankful that we were able to stay safe and healthy throughout all of that time. And just spending that time with them and with my pets and still getting to do music from home. Obviously I missed so much performing and playing those shows that I normally get to play regularly, and not getting to do that was very hard and very lonely. But I was able to dive into recording from home and working with my producers from home and sending projects back and forth with them and other musicians and being creative in that way and in other ways. I'm very I learned a lot, and I'm very thankful for that.
Well, we're thankful for that too. A lot of artists have been doing the same thing. As my running joke with a lot of artists I talk to them about, I always keep asking everybody, so does that mean your closet is now your sound booth? Because a lot of them turned it into that.
Oh my gosh, yes, I in the corner of my room because I already had my music equipment set up, but yeah, I was just trying to find the best ways. I even recorded a little bit like in my pantry. Like, just trying everywhere, and in this room too, just everywhere, just seeing where fits best.
Where does the love of music come from? And can I say, we call it country pop. What do you call it?
That's always such a hard question to answer because I just really, it's just what comes from my heart. And country music really does call my heart and the storytelling of it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think just everybody has their own take on whatever genre or genres that they play. Um, but yeah, I mean, of course, it has elements of pop and today's modern twist. And I do think coming from California and just the mix of everything that I've grown up listening to, whether folk and Americana to pop and to classic rock and roll and to everything. I just think it all kind of somehow finds its way in there in little ways, but at the end of the day, it's just my heart that's speaking, if that makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense. Who are your influences?
Again, I when I first started really diving deeper into songwriting and the storytelling of it, I was listening to a lot from like Woodstock. And so
Hmm.
like Melanie Safka, who sings Brand New Key and Beautiful People, and Look What They've Done to My Song, Ma, and artists like that, and Janis Joplin, and just the soulfulness and just the way that these artists put their everything into their music, and just the vulnerability, and of course like Dolly Parton and Johnny Cash and this everything. But songwriting, I would say that those lyrics and the melodies are, I think, maybe what have touched me the most and inspired me to be like, oh, like, I hope to someday, have a song or something like that that sticks with me or sticks with maybe hopefully other people like these songs have stuck with me.
Just curious, during the pandemic, I know for myself, and I talked to a lot of other people, they were really going back into the old school catalog. Were you going back to listening to those kind of songs during the pandemic? Because, and I've talked to people, and they've said, it was their comfort food listening to that music. Did you do that yourself?
I listened to absolutely, yeah, everything during, yeah, during lockdown. I think when I really, really needed to pick me up, of course, I listened to those songs like I would listen to on the jukebox with my grandparents, like, again, like Johnny Cash. Or, I did listen to quite a bit of Willie Nelson. And then when I really wanted to get into a good mood, like it would change, I would listen to ABBA, like I love listening to, it just, it just depends on the mood and the day. And, um, yeah, just what I'm feeling. And I usually every single day have some song stuck in my head.
If I could snap my finger for you and bring back an artist that is no longer with us or an artist of today, who would you love to do a duet with and why?
That is hard.
You only get one. You only get one snap.
Okay. Okay. Well, when anybody ever asks a similar question like that of like who do you wish, maybe who's no longer here that you could like meet or hear or see live, and my thought is always Freddie Mercury. But when you say sing with, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'd be so terrified to sing with him. But that would be incredible.
Wait, you know who Freddie Mercury is?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes. Because I mean, just like his vocals, I think everybody knows just how much of a legend, he still is today. Um, yeah.
We can take that one. Hey, we can take that one. And I still say too, definitely on my top five list is all-time greatest frontmen of all time. So, absolutely. Um, at some point in time, this is get right into we're going to get into American Idol, and how did this come about for you? Who made the decision? Did you? Were you watching the show? How did this all come about for you to be such an important, I think the word is alumnus, as part of American Idol?
I believe it had first started airing when I was probably like 2 years old.
Oh, great. Now you made me feel old.
No, I do have a lot of memories of, growing up watching it with my family and with my grandparents when they were still alive. And by the time that they had, lowered the age range, for contestants, I was, I'd been performing for so many years already that it was just something that, I guess maybe something that I, always thought about or always hoped for, but it was something that I was reached out, like how like casting or producers will, reach out and find people on, whether it's Instagram or wherever. And so I did the producer auditions and then got to be in front of the judges, and it was very surreal to be. I was 15, and it was my sophomore year of high school, and here I was seeing the behind the scenes of a show that I had grown up watching. And unfortunately, my grandma was no longer alive as of that year, or the year before that. So that was really like a very hard thing to think that she wouldn't get to see it. But I knew that she was, hopefully looking down at me and seeing me, start that journey. And it really was, again, another like stepping stone and great learning experience. in the industry and as an artist and as a young adult.
What did you get out of that to help you in furthering your career, do you think?
Well, before that, actually, when I was 13, I did a TV show called Majors and Minors. And so that was my like real first experience, with the TV, the lights, the cameras, and working with, other kids, because we were all kids at the time, who had the same passion for music. And that was something that I really truly believe is priceless, because working with them, growing with them, and singing alongside them, um, we grew so much, and there really wasn't any sort of a weird competition feel. We were all there to support each other and to grow ourselves as well. And that was in songwriting and in playing our instruments and performing live and talking and doing things like this. And so that was a huge learning experience. And then doing Idol a couple of years later, I felt like I was a little bit more prepared for something like that. And but even of course, like being on Idol and then um, stepping onto the stage and already kind of knowing what that format was. Again, growing up watching the show and the three judges and the table, and it was definitely like, oh whoa, like this is real, and it definitely makes you kind of um, it makes you for sure like nervous, and I'm very thankful for the experience too, because again, it was another way to figure out how to perform and work under, pressure. And again, yeah.
Now, you were releasing music while you were in school.
Yes. Yes.
What is that like to actually have hits and still going to school and trying to be just you?
um, music again has it's always been a huge part of my life. And being able to share that throughout school, I do think was a huge part of me not only like wanting to share it because it was something that I loved, but also wanting to share it to hopefully feel more like I've had a place in school. I always felt a little bit like out of place, because I don't know. But I had wonderful, wonderful friends throughout school, and everybody was so kind and supportive. And I loved getting to perform at the school assemblies and the school talent shows, even like from 5 years old on. And my schedule was definitely different. Like even in high school, by the time of, junior, senior year, I was already performing regular shows, like 2 to 5, even more sometimes shows a week. And so my schedule was very busy. I would, I would be getting up early in the mornings and doing my, classes on campus. For a little while, I homeschooled. But by the end of high school, I was taking more classes on campus. And, I would take those classes. And then after school, I would, do my homework and uh, go off to play a show. And I really, really did like that. And of course, everything is about balance. But I think when you love something so much, it does somehow kind of work out just in a way that maybe feels a little bit easier to manage.
Well, let's make the leap now for the big reason why we were speaking. You have a new single out right now, and a lot of fans are excited about this, so I like to make this part official. What is the new single called, and how does it represent you and your career right now? What's it about?
The new single is called Everything But You, and I am so excited for people to hear it because it's something that on both a personal and of course, as a musician, on a personal level, I've been trying to put into words for a very long time. When I love, I love deeply. And, I think we all have someone in our lives, whether it's from a breakup and heartbreak or a loss or um, something like that where we hold on to or we can't help but see reminders of them everywhere we go, whether it's we hear their name, we see their initials, we hear that song that we used to hear together, or um, just things like that, like the craziest things. And I really do believe in signs and like little coincidences and things like that. And when this song kind of it came to me, um, and it was just flowing, and I got goosebumps while writing it because I was like, wow, I'm finally putting into words what I've been trying to figure out myself what this feeling is and why I'm feeling this way. And as I'm writing it, it's like, okay, well, this is not only just for me to get these words out and these feelings out, but hopefully someone who hears it and is going through a similar thing will be able to hear their own story in this song.
Amen to that. Is there an EP or album following all of this?
I definitely hope to do a larger release soon, as far as, a fuller length project, like an EP or an album. Of course, I have so much material that I've been writing, but also holding on to for a little while. And this song was just one that popped up. I'm like, wait, you know what? This one's just gonna, this one's just gonna come out first. But I have some others that are waiting shortly around the corner. But hopefully soon, another EP. I put some out when I was quite a bit younger, and I definitely think it's time soon. But first, I do have a couple singles that are coming.
Okay, bravo to that. Yes, we get the music. What are the chances of you coming here to Ontario, coming here to Canada, touring Canada, being here in Ontario, maybe even doing Boots and Hearts or something like that? What do you think the chances are of something like that happening in the future?
Oh my gosh, just tell me when. I would be there. I would love to be there. And um, gosh, Ontario just sounds so fun and beautiful. Um, I have some friends from Canada, and I've just heard nothing but just again beautiful things. So I really, really hope to visit someday, and I absolutely would love to perform there.
And in the meantime, we can always get your great music. Congratulations on this new single. Looking forward to a future EP or album. And looking forward to you coming here to the great white north. Thank you again for the interview and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much, Rudy. So great to talk to you.